Praise.
Anybody? I just want you to understand that you're gonna have to have a dialogue and expectation that is to the husband and to the wife. So let me just be real with you about things changing. Is that Ron? Y'all all the way from Florida. Larry, how y'all doing?
Hey y'all.
Any
Hey
comment you want to make,
everybody.
sweetheart?
Yeah, I wanted to
Thank
say
you.
that yeah, the need could the new need that I heard her say was just him apologizing, him coming and admitting his wrong and being able to receive that and accept that, okay, I forgive you because you admitted that it was you, or you admitted what you did. And then now I can say, okay, all right, I accept your apology. And that could be a new need as opposed to saying he brought me some flowers, or he woke up the next day and did not even acknowledge, what had happened or what he did or what I need. What I need is just to you acknowledge that you're sorry, you apologize and that you need me to forgive you for it, and you're gonna try not to do it again. That could be for me a new need. That's it.
All right, thank you. Anybody else before I move on?
If if husbands and wives are talking on a regular basis and they're sharing their emotions and their feelings on a regular basis, why would it be offensive if a man says he knows what she needs? Because if she's talking to him on a regular basis, he can kind of extrapolate from the different conversations what she might need. But sometimes I think that comes across as when a man says that almost as if it's somewhat offensive because he's not really saying I know more about what you need than you do. He's just saying in this particular case, I know what you might need.
I love you, Ray. You always open up that box. And Erica got something to say because I saw her shaking her head. So,
Mm.
Erica, let Ray know what you thought of what he said. I was looking at you, Patrice, because you was like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Ray, but that's not always the case because sometimes men think they know, but they don't. I mean, one time me and Darren were talking, and he said, I asked him, well, he said he didn't know how to love me. And then I thought about in that moment in time and what we were talking about, I said, man, do I even know how to communicate to you what I need? So both parties have to know, I need to know how to communicate to you what I need, and then you need to receive it so that you can give me what I need. So, I mean, I hear you, Ray.
Say it, Erica. Say it.
Who
Yeah,
else had a comment?
that part, Erica, this is Stephanie Young. That part, Erica, really hit because it'd be like sometimes like, do I even really know how to effectively communicate? Like, what is it even that I need in this space and in this moment, in this time? What am I trying to get across? That I feel like that's where the breakdown in communication comes in. That's when the frustration happens. And then it's like we enemies at that point. So yeah, that was good.
I like to. This is Cecilia. Good blessed morning, everyone.
We gonna
I, I,
raise your
I
hand.
just,
Is what I'm saying.
Go on, Cecilia.
oh, I'm sorry. What wanted to say was that part. I agree with that part. When you're communicating with each other, about what you may need at that particular moment. But at the same time, if you both think different, you have to get up early in the morning to figure out how to say it where they will understand what you're saying because it may come off saying something else. If that makes sense, it's like, okay, that's not what I'm saying. So I have to find myself trying to figure out how to communicate with my spouse where he receives, what I'm saying in love and not saying he's not doing this or he's not doing that. How do we meet each other? So it's daily me figuring out how to communicate my feelings and my issues at that moment where he's not feeling like I'm attacking him or pointing fingers.
And you made a good point. Now I'm gonna let Jasmine and then Larry go. I make a good point. I always say to Thomas, and I said that sometimes the man's ego, well, like Ray said, I'm gonna go back and pick on Ray. Well, we think we'll listen to you,
and we know what you need. Not all the time, but sometimes. And I think a man's ego, if I say to you, I need you to rub my finger, and being funny now, instead of my arm, well, he thinks my finger is perfect, but it's really my arm, or hold my hand, and then they take offensive because they thought they know what we needed. And we say, and I guess the point of it is, and I'll let you all talk. I love this crazy cycle because to me, we got to communicate, ladies. That's not what I need. And husbands got to be open enough to hear, or we keep doing the dumb and stupid things and be on this crazy cycle and not opening and share with one another, regardless of how it feels. And as Cecilia said, I have to get up in the morning, and we all have to get up in the morning and pray. Go, Lord, give me the words to say that my spouse may receive it. That's important. But go on, Jasmine, then Larry.
Something that someone, I believe it was our pastor, has told us early on in marriage is sometimes the conversation is what was said and then what was heard doesn't always match. So sometimes it's not just what you say or how you say it, but it's the comprehension of what you said. So one of the tips that they gave us is to repeat back what you heard. So when you say something, have your spouse repeat it back or say, what did you understand from what I just said? And then that way you can kind of decipher and get a better understanding or figure out where things were missed at. Because just like they did in the video, we struggle with that sometimes. I would tell Todd I need more help at the house, and he would work overtime on the weekend. And I'm like, well, how is that helpful? For him, it was the finances. It was bringing in more resources is what he thought I needed. But for me, I needed his physical help at the house with the kids. So I needed him home with me. So I felt unloved or ignored. And his thing was, well, I thought if you had more money to take care of the stuff, you could get it done. So his intention and his heart was in the right place, but he didn't necessarily hear exactly what I was asking him for. And it could have been the way that I communicated or came across that it may have came off financially, like I could hire help or whatever, but that wasn't what I was asking for at the time. So it's what was said and then what was heard and comprehended from that conversation.
Okay, Larry, and then Philip. All right, Philip and wife. Go on, Larry and Helen.
Hi, good morning, class. How are you? Very good topics. I believe a lot of times what happens, I've heard it, I think a few times, is that most men already have a preconceived idea about what I am to do and how I am to be in the home that will make me a good husband because of others they've seen or because of others they've heard. And sometimes when that's not good enough, we tend to kind of, I'm not going to say they, we tend to kind of assume that this is what she wants or she's upset about this. But learning to talk and communicate with our wife, I think that's the greatest weapon that any marriage can have, is good communication. When the communication line is open, you continuously allowing each other to be enlightened on what it is that I want. Sometimes the family size change. The size of the family change, so sometimes the husband will back up in his participation in responsibility. So sometimes the wife have to take on an extra load. He may assume that she wants something else. She might just want him to take the kids for a day. So just communicating with our wives and hearing what they have to say, and I'm not going to just say communicating with our wives, but wives communicating with your husbands. Let us know what it is you want. It doesn't make your husband less than a man because he can't read your mind. And it doesn't make you less than a woman, vice versa. So talking to each other and sharing things with each other, I think that'll alleviate some of these problems that we're having, because most of it is a guessing game. And sometimes when you're guessing something, you usually don't get it the first time.
All right, thank you, Larry. And then Philip. I can't hear you. So I keep trying to figure.
Good
There you
morning.
go.
Good morning. I'm Regina. What
Regina.
I heard was in his apology, it wasn't that he was sorry in his for him apologizing. He just didn't know what the problem was. and he was apologizing to end the argument. But she did not communicate clear enough for him to understand what the issue was. That's what I got out of it. So he just apologized to end it all.
Smart man, smart man.
And I would say, thank you, Philip. You want to say something, Philip?
No, smart man, smart man.
Smart man, smart man. And I do. I think Ted, I'm with Ted and Sharon on. Ted did something about forgiveness. So sometimes the mature person is the one that sometimes said, let's move on, let's get peace or whatever. There are 5 things I got, and then ladies, you all can come in, but I'll go up with what Larry said. I got the B's. I think I got 4 B's for men, 4 B's that she said how she felt loved. Most women want you to be with me. I need you to know that you want to be with me. That's meaning be with me, stand with me wherever I'm at. Be, and somebody puts in chat, be with me. And so to husbands, have you, and back to Ray about communication, Ray. Have you ever asked her, how can I be with you? Or, what can we do together? Sometimes she just wants you to go to the show with her or go shopping with her. I think I've been watching Project Runway. Now, I like the beginning challenge, and I like the end at the fashion show. So, I'm not the woman of fashion. Most things I have on that look good, Thomas probably helped me pick it out. Let's just be real. I'm getting a lot better, aren't I, dear? So, but he's been watching Project Runway with me, and we're watching on live TV, this new whatever this is on our smart TV. So I got to watch all of it. I don't want to see the drama. I want to see the beginning challenge and the end. But he's been watching it with me. He still won't do Hallmark. Let's just be real. But have you asked her, how can I be with you this weekend?
Never. Fellas, you can talk about me. Women, you can talk about me all you want to. Never.
Okay.
Never will I mark the halls.
So anyway, the second thing is women want to be heard. They want to be heard. That means don't go to the ego. I always tell Thomas, don't hire the inner lawyer. Just hear me. And it will really, listen, you want an icing on the cake, repeat back just what she said. If you get it or not, repeat back be heard. Just stop and hear it. Sometimes women just want to rant. I got these words I got to get rid of, and you're right here, and not love me. And what if I'm a cry through whatever? Just be heard and say, through the emotion, or it may make her mad, but through whatever, this is what I think I heard you say. If you tell her, I think I heard you say, and you got half of it right, oh man, you scored a touchdown, as I would say. You done got there. Women want to be heard. To know that you love me is to hear me. Be heard. Okay? Another thing is, women, any comment about being heard? Well, let me get to the B's. We'll come back to that. Next one is be desired. Women want to be desired. I want to know, if I've gained a lot of weight, I'm still a wife of your youth. However long y'all been married. You know what I mean? The role or whatever. Because when you all get a belly and the roll and the gray, we love you. And so women want to know that we desire. Anyway, this is our turn. It ain't your turn. It's our turn. We want to know we're desired. My husband was flirting on the plane. You know I'm a secure woman. He's flirting on the plane. We've been together all week. He just flirted with people right in front of me. And I'm good people because I just know myself. But then he turned around and tell me, you look good today, baby. And so he does. Let me say that. But women want to know that. And today he's going to church with these tight pants on. I want y'all to know that. I told me I rate too tight for him. So y'all just look at his legs and pray for him. So somebody gonna flirt at him. But anyway,
I hear a sign of insecurity right there. I hear that. Okay, all right. She knows that I'm hers. Okay, but I am fine today, and I was yesterday, and the day before. Praise Jesus.
We want to know we are desired. Desire us, and whatever that is, we need desire. The next thing, and one of Ray said, I think it was Ray or no, Jasmine, we want you to be our helper. We are supposed to be your helpmeet. Well, hold on. But we want you to be our helper. Okay? Help us with the kids. Help us with the homework. Say to us, what do you need me? And this is what you probably don't say to your wife, and I could be wrong. What do you need me to help you with today? That's another point to score that she knows you love her. What? How can I help you today? It could be just fold of clothes. And if she may give you, like ladies, you can give him a laundry list of things to do because they ain't going to do all that. Okay? But you give him something that you know he can do, watch this, and know he can be successful at. Then he'll ask you again. But if you're going to ask him to help you and you're going to criticize, he ain't going to ask you no more. So be his helper. What can I do to help you? And I think those are the things that she was saying in this video of how she needs to be loved. Anybody want to add to what I said?
Did I miss one? Because I've been typing them in the chat.
That's 4, not 5. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Be
I'm
with
sorry.
me,
Okay.
be heard, be desired, and be my helper. Now, ladies, you have another B. You can give it to me because I don't know another B, but whatever. BE. Any ladies had another one to make it 5? Okay. Any comments on what I said from anybody? Nobody? Okay. All right. Fellas, so have you ever asked your wife, or why have you asked your wife, what can I do to help you? Be honest. Husbands.
I'd like for the women to actually go back to this, because if these are the points that have been brought up, and because there are several husbands on this call, we'd like to be able to hear whether or not you reinforce these points, because if you were saying those are 4 important B's, then ladies, are these important B's for you? So at least husbands can kind of like put that into a be heard, be desired. So let's hear from you.
Jess?
Otherwise we can go back.
Guys.
Go ahead, Helen. I'm sorry.
Just to challenge, to go with that be heard, I actually want to be heard, because a lot of times Larry will listen, but he's listening to respond.
Teach, girl, teach.
I want to be heard. I don't want you to just listen so you could come with your comeback. I need you to hear what I'm saying, and if you're going to come back, first, to me, I would like for you to repeat what I said so I can know that you understand it, and then come with your feedback. But a lot of times he'll listen so he can come with his comeback. But I want you to hear me and understand what I'm saying.
And I'd like to add to that as a warning to the fellas. I did that out of concern and out of love, but my wife don't always need me to fix her problem. Sometimes she just want me to hear it. But every time I hear something that I think, and fellas, believe me when I say it, it's a natural feeling to want to fix and make things right for your wife because you love her. But she don't always want you to fix the problem, because now she feels like every time she's talking to you, she's communicating with a doctor or a lawyer or someone of that nature, and not someone that's her partner, that's in it with her. I don't need a therapist every time I have a problem. I need that man that I love and that man that loves me to just hear me. So my ears are getting better.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, baby.
That's great, Larry. Your ears are getting better. Thank you. Thank you. There are 2 more in the chat, Thomas. Be understood and be my teammate and not my opposition. All right. All right. Who else wants to go? Ladies, did y'all agree with all what was said? Any more B's? Speak up so we can know we got it right. Let them know we getting it right.
So I will say Darren does hit one of those B's. He will come in if he sees me moving around trying to get the kitchen clean or whatever. He'll come in and say, "How can I help?" Except on Monday, Thursdays, and Sundays. It's football night. But other than that, he will come in and say, "How can I help? Let me fold the clothes for you." As a matter of fact, on Sunday, he say, "I'll get up, do my husbandly duties." And he starts separating clothes. And, he'll start, but I'll finish because sometimes the clothes wouldn't get finished until Monday, and I'm that type of person. I need it all done on one day. But so he will hit those B's, and just trying to understand me, he tries his best. I'm a complicated creature sometimes, so he does try his best to understand me.
All right, Darren, any comments?
Well, I'll say I'm still, from the crazy cycle, we have both been having dialogue more frequently. So instead of having conversations with each other when problems are there, we're just having these type of conversations like every day or every other day now. Just hey, how was your day? And then we'll go into what we need from each other. Like I said, because it changes every day what she might need from me. So now we're having these conversations, just regular conversations, instead of when a problem arises. And I think that's been helping out a lot too for communication.
Thank you, Darren. Philip and then Stephanie. Or Regina, which one? I don't know which one to go on.
It's me, yeah. I think with the be heard portion, I try to get a thought across or a conversation across. And in order to end the conversation, he thinks I'm saying one thing, and he will sometimes just say, okay, like the husband did, to kind of end the conversation. But my thought hadn't been completed. So we bring it up again and again and again and again. And he'll say, well, didn't we just discuss that? No, I said something, but you ended it. So I have to get my thought out, completely out, regardless of if you agree with it or not. This is how we find out if you agree with it or not, by communicating.
Okay, thank you. Stephanie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, sometimes I get caught up. It's not necessarily about being understood for me, because I think that sometimes, particularly the word understood versus being heard, because I think that we're two different people, and sometimes, am I still here? Can you guys hear me still? Okay,
yes.
Sometimes that understanding is not always the piece, but I just want I want to know that you heard me and you're able to repeat back what it is that that's being said to you. So the be heard part really resonated with me, rather than sometimes the understood portion, because I know that we are two different people, and then that understanding just may come with time or experience and stuff.
Okay. I think there's Larry and Helen again. I think I lowered your hand, but one more time, go on.
If you want to call somebody else, that's fine.
No, baby, go on. Knock yourself out. I want to make sure I didn't miss it. I thought I put it down, but go on, baby. If you have something to say, go on.
I just wanted to give a heads up to some of the fellas, or maybe even all. If we learn to pinpoint why we apologize, it'll be taken more seriously. Because I heard somebody say early on that somebody apologized just because the wrong was brought about, or however it went. But sometimes when something occurs, if I say, baby, I'm sorry, I was a bit insensitive towards your feelings about such and such and such and such, it won't happen again. She'll hear that. But if a heated argument is about to start, and I can hear the conversation escalating and voices are starting to be spoken and people talking at the same time, and I say, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I apologize, I'm sorry, because you're trying to appease the situation, sometimes that works. But if you can pinpoint the offense, that works even better.
Yes, it does. And thank you, Larry. I'm gonna get Ron and Melly in a minute. Thank you, Larry. And I think I got another B. Be ready to apologize for your wrong. And I can't figure out how to say the wrong, because that makes it a negative. but because they made a point of saying be ready to apologize for your wrong. I can't make it a better word than that. And I think that was important for he know. I'm sorry if you felt me not calling you or me coming home late, whatever. I think that's the key. If we both as husband and wife get ready to apologize, I apologize for not helping you, though you may didn't tell me, but be ready to apologize. I think it's so important for both sides, but for a woman to feel love, because that's how she know you hurt her, is that you apologize for whatever that was, but was misunderstood. Ron, go on. Ron or Melanie.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking about the be with me one. Um, it's like I can never really get him to go with me to places that's not like to dinner or to the movies. Like I'll say grocery shopping or to shop for clothes or something. And I have to just be mindful because I get in there and he'll get mad because I seen some sales. I get distracted and we were only going to be gone for an hour and now it's 3 hours and so I'm not going to the store with you no more, or I'll get angry if it's like in the evening, with any time that we may need to spend time together. I guess he just doesn't like it when I get distracted. Like if we go to the pool and we plan to just go to the pool and play some cards, well, there's some people that show up and now we're having a group conversation. We never play the cards because he's sitting there, or I see a few girlfriends, so I guess what he doesn't want to be with me in times that I'm not totally transparent of what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to go to this store and here's the list. I want you to help me shop, and that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna leave out this the list. This is what we're going for. I'm not gonna go look at sales. I'm not gonna go down another aisle saying, "Ooh, honey, you see that?" So that's what I was thinking about as far as he doesn't like to be with me in those kind of situations unless I totally stick to what I want him to be with me doing. If it doesn't change, then he'll be more willing to be with me in times to just go to the grocery store. So
thank you. Let me just say that as I tell women all the time, pick your battles. And there's a lot of B's on this list. I think we got about 10 or 8 or 9 now. And I think that's important. Pick, and if you want him to be with you, we can't go to 4 or 5 stores. You already know his attention span. Like I said, Thomas, they go watch Hallmark, but he's watching Project Runway. You got to take what you can get and be happy with it. And so we have to be mindful of pick your B's, but we may need all of those. Let me move to, I'm pick one more person real fast, to Keisha, and then I see you having Jasmine, but could Keisha go on because I want to show one more part of a video. Go on to Keisha.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. To be heard, that is definitely, to me, that really touched me because that was one of the things that I will always tell my husband. I just want to be heard, but at the same time, just like I want him to be able to hear me, I have to be able to do the same thing. Now, just because he didn't hear me and I felt that he didn't hear me and he just saying something to just move along, probably he told me a lot of times, I just say okay to say the piece, again, picking battles, but it goes both ways. So if you feel that, for me, if I felt that my husband was not showing me how he loved me by listening, then okay, I'm going to try to bring it to his attention, but at the same time, I need to remind myself how I present it. So don't just come with attitude, or don't just even if he's sincere with it and he apologized and then it's like, okay, that wasn't good enough. Again, picking your battles. The little things that he does, if he's saying he's sorry or he finds ways to apologize as his wife, I should sit up here and be like, okay, I see what he's trying to do. I accept it, even though it's not the way I want it, but it shouldn't be that way. Now it's about me. Let me get myself in check because he's trying his best, but yeah, it's not good enough. And I think that's sometimes too, men feel frustrated a little bit because they sincere with what they're trying to do, but then if it's not the right way, we still, they still like, okay, I apologize, and I wasn't doing maliciously, I'm doing it sincerely. Is how it's being received. So again, it's a two-way fold. So that's what I want to say.
All right, Jasmine, and then I'm gonna show the video. Go on, Jasmine.
So my question, I had a question in regards to when he mentioned that there was an apology and being sincere about the apology. So if it's something that you apologized before, how do you hold your partner accountable without nagging, without bringing up the past, but it's a repetitive issue or situation? How do you do that when you're picking and choosing your battles? You're trying to have an open line of communication, but this is a repetitive behavior or incident. How do you accept the apology but still hold them accountable?
Thomas, I'll let you respond.
Thank you. In fact, I even wanted to respond back when Takesha was saying that. So, Jasmine, I think you brought up an excellent point. This may be controversial on my end here, but I think it's very applicable. I believe it's very dangerous to apologize for something that you're not sorry for. I believe that a lot of times people say that they will say that they're sorry just to keep the peace. They will say it's okay to keep the peace. And I tell Patrice that what it does is that it delays the situation. It doesn't keep the peace. It delays the situation. And by delaying the situation, it now pushes it up under the carpet. And, like sometimes when you don't clean your house and then you finally lift up that carpet, it's a lot of dirt underneath there. And so it's dangerous, in my opinion. And I'm not saying the fact that you don't say sorry to be able to say sorry, because sorry comes from the same concept of being sincere. If you're not sincere about something, let's make the example very real. When your kids just got you having a fight in the house, okay, and you saw Junebug just slap a little Maggie, okay, and you say, tell your brother you're sorry. Okay? I'm sorry, okay. He said it at that particular time. It was not sincere. And so I'm not saying the fact that we should never apologize, that we should never take a moment to be able to say, okay, but I think, Jasmine, I'm just speaking for myself, I think it's dangerous that if we're expecting somebody to apologize, and generally apology comes with change of behavior. And if there's no change of behavior, then what did I say I'm sorry for? I think that you said the Swints, you all said the fact that, if I'm just saying I'm sorry just to say to end the situation, it didn't end it. All you did was just put a comma in it, okay, or a colon, and then it just continues. So that's my view.